For over 50 years, Value Home Centers has served the do-it-yourselfer. Value is conveniently located in your neighborhood, and each store has a hard-working and talented team ready to help you with your next project. Shop in-store or online today and let their experts help you find the products you need from the brands you trust. Whatever you're working on this year, Value is ready to help. Visit valuehomecenters.com to find a location near you.
Value for the do-it-yourselfer. Do-it-yourselfer in you.
Hi, Buffalo Bills fans. This is Jason from the Original Pizza Logs. We created an instant classic, the original Buffalo-style chicken logs. Tender, 100% white shredded chicken, blended in a premium wing sauce with cream cheese and a hint of blue cheese. You'll find the original Buffalo-style chicken logs throughout the stadium. Can't make it to the game? Our new product is in stores now. So whether you're at the game or at a home party this season, be sure to try original Buffalo-style chicken logs, the official finger food of the Buffalo Bills.
So is it like Bruno Mars' birthday today, or are you just in a Bruno Mars kind of mood?
I'm doing a lot of funky stuff and like newer funk.
And so the newer funk is just all Bruno Mars. I was just curious. I was just like, I feel like this is like 3 Bruno Mars songs in a row. I didn't know if there was a theme going for today. It's fine if it is, Marcos. I was just listen. It's your it's your music set. I'm just wondering. I was just like, it felt like we were at Curtis Blow at one point, and then now we're on Bruno Mars for 3 straight segments.
Yeah, they sound funky.
They do. They do sound funky. Let's get to our ID here. We will talk to Chris Fowler in about 5 minutes here and get into some college football with him.
This is The Ticket. WAXY South Miami. WSFS HD2 Miramar. With Tobin and Leroy. The Zaslow Show. And Hawk and Crowder.
Which is brought to you by the Orion Fuels and Downstairs Convenience Stores. Truly steps beyond convenient. We'll start off letting you know that the Miami Marlins yesterday, they beat the Washington Nationals 7-5. Miguel Rojas and Jorge Alfaro each went deep for the Fish. The Marlins are starting up a series with the Reds tonight at 7:10. 7:10 if you want to watch your Marlins tonight. The Miami Dolphins are going to wrap up their preseason on Sunday afternoon against the Cincinnati Bengals. 4 o'clock kickoff. Now, Bengals coach Zach Taylor said that Joe Burrow will get some action, while Brian Flores, he is going in the exact opposite direction, as he is basically let you know he gives no craps about this game, and he is not playing starters. He is not. It's very like Flores is usually even-keeled, doesn't really give an opinion on much, just kind of chilling out, and then he's just like, this game. He basically should have just kind of like, a game, if you can call it that. That's really the way he should have gone.
That's what he did.
That's kind of what he did. And so Tua's not playing. Doesn't appear the Stars are gonna play. So just get ready for a whole lot of Reed Sinnett. Or Sinnett, I don't know. I need to get his pronunciation as well. Number 4, get a whole lot of him after a brief Jacoby Brissett appearance, and that's what we got coming up on Sunday. Not too much on the old football front there, Leroy. On Sunday night, also, then we have Jake Paul. He is going to be fighting former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley in Leroy's former stomping grounds, Cleveland, Ohio. That is where Jake Paul is from. It is getting at the Rocket Mortgage Arena. Cleveland will be rocking Leroy. I wonder if Cleveland likes Jake Paul. Like, are they going to be treating him like Stipe?
Isn't he from there, right?
He is from there, but I'm like, do they claim him? Like, are they like, oh yeah, Jake, our guy? Like, I'm wondering if he's going to get the hometown reception, or if he's going to get, because I've been in arenas, Leroy. When I was in Jacksonville, the entire arena was chanting, "F Jake Paul, F Jake Paul," and they weren't saying F. They were saying the
Not a big fan, huh?
Not a big fan. Now, listen, he was loving it. I was like, listen, you guys just made that guy's day. He's a troll. He wants the entire arena to bleep him. But right. I wonder if in Cleveland, are they going to be treating him, are they going to give him the hero's welcome? Interesting thing that we'll have to look out for on Sunday night.
I would say so. I think they give it to him.
You think they give him the cheers?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. By the way.
I mean, the option is cheering for the other guy.
Cheering for Woodley? Yeah, I guess. But I think that
like sometimes who you cheer for has more to do with who's available than who it is.
Like
right?
I wonder though, like if we were if like Jose Canseco was fighting, do you think Miami would just root for him regardless? Like if because he's hometown? Or their hometown?
It depends on who he's fighting.
Good question. Let's see. Oh, by the way, breaking news. Jameis Winston, no surprise, has just been named the Saints starting quarterback.
Are we shocked there? I'm telling you, the only shock was that Teddy Bridgewater was named starter.
That's the only one that you're surprised by? You thought for sure was going to be lock?
I'd be shocked if they were to come out and say Mac Jones was a starter.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be shocked if they come and say Jimmy G wasn't the starter. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder if there is going to be the whole the Cam Newton thing because of the whatever the hell they went through this week.
That's true.
If that's gonna affect him at all, I mean, because it's possible that he still has a really good performance, or that Mac Jones has a really good performance, and then he's all of a sudden just not. They're going to go in another direction with that.
Well, if they can get an early start, I mean, history says put the young guy in there if he's gotten to a certain level, and they have no more proof than look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady got that job and never. That was it.
Sorry, we're just trying to link up with Fowler here. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties on that, Leroy. Why don't you give us give us another take on the Dolphins preseason so I can tell the publicist to call us.
I mean, look, I'm shocked that the Dolphins aren't playing guys. I mean,
tomorrow's considered what would normally be the fourth game of the preseason, right? Typically,
no. But what makes it weird, Marcos, is that they have 2 weeks in between the last preseason game and the start of the season.
Yeah, I get that.
So that changes things a little bit. So why would you not play your guys? So basically, these guys are going to sit 3 Sundays before playing a game?
Yeah, I just think that, though, is the consequence really we think we're going to lose to the Patriots because they're rusty?
No, that's not. The consequences is that do you want to start the season off rusty?
That's what I'm saying, though. Do you think it can get bad enough to where they're going to actually have themselves caught? Basically what I'm asking is, does Tua Tagovailoa playing a quarter of preseason football, do you think it really makes it that much of a difference in reps for a game in 2 weeks? I just have a hard time.
I don't know. I can't say if it would help, but I can say not playing football at that level for 3 weeks can't. You see what I mean? I don't know if the plan half for football or whatever matters as much as not playing it would.
Yeah.
3 weeks, keep in mind, you never, unless you're hurt, you never go that long. Once football starts, you never go that long without playing football. Ever.
I get you. But I think they're probably just weighing into the fact of, okay, are we going to go rust here or just on the off chance Tua or Xavier or somebody gets hurt just
can't
for
play
a couple
football that way, though.
I mean, you can say, okay, you can't. You can say you can't play football that way, but it's still football. There's still injuries that happen.
Yeah. Right.
And if it's still an unnecessary risk, I think, in the eyes of Brian Flores. That's where I think it looked.
Right. That's what, but that's what makes it even more shocking to me is that he made that decision.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? He doesn't seem like the guy that he's all about the work and the preparation and what have you. He doesn't seem like the guy that would make that decision and go, bleep this last preseason game. Right? I don't. I know. Do you see Brian Flores making that decision?
I don't, because he's typically that's typically his attitude on things. But listen, I get it. It's also a weird time too. I think there's just so many factors on things. You're just like, man, why even risk it? Let's go out to the guest line right now, and Chris Fowler joins us there. Chris, thanks for the time this morning, man. Really appreciate it.
Morning, Brendan. How you doing down there on the 305?
We're doing great, man. We're doing really good. Leroy and we've been talking some Canes in Alabama. We're super pumped up for a couple weeks. We've even made ourselves a little bit of a wager of embarrassment that comes through. It may involve one of us wearing a leopard outfit that Tyler Hero, Heat Guard, is wearing on his Instagram. But we're fired up for college football, man. So
who's picking Miami? How do you have a bet if both sides are picking Alabama? Somebody's going to pick the Canes?
I'm getting the Canes, and I'm getting the 18.5. I'm getting the Canes, and I'm getting the 18.5. I ride with my team, Chris. And so Leroy, more even keeled. He's Michigan guy. He's got more. He doesn't have the skin in the game like I do. He's more prone about being right. And I bet with my heart. And so I will put my humiliation on the line, as I have many times.
Chris, all I'm gonna say is stay tuned.
You're gonna lay it all out there and take the 18.5.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, Leroy, I'm a Broncos fan going way back. So I just got to throw that at you right now. I'm sorry about that. I'm a Colorado guy. I'm a Broncos back in the day, and those places with the Browns. So
everybody's got their team.
I don't know why, but I thought I mentioned it.
Doesn't everybody have their team in that stretch? I mean,
yes,
it's
Elway and
I just hope
Broncos, those are my team.
Right.
Absolutely.
I pull for the Browns now because I like Baker. So
yeah. Are you as shocked as I am that they made Bridgewater to start over Drew Lock?
Not shocked. I'm surprised. The fact that they weren't, locked in on Lock, pun intended, early on was sort of a signal. But I mean, we'll see. I think it's pretty fragile, don't you? I mean, if Bridgewater struggles early, I don't know. They're going to give him I want them to succeed. I want them to have two viable quarterbacks. But I think it is one of the more interesting quarterback duels. A lot of people were watching that, and I don't have high hopes for Denver this season. I mean, I'm optimistic, but I don't think that's. As I look at it, I don't see them being a playoff team.
We're talking to Chris Fowler here now. Chris, you got the U.S. Open going on, and IBM is introducing some pretty cool stuff for the fans to interact, have some more data and fantasy going on with the tournament this year. What do you have going on with them?
Well, it's my craziest time of the year. I got college football and the U.S. Open. I mean, these are my two favorite sports. I've done it for a lot of years, but if you step back and look at it, the Open starts Monday. I'm up here in New York. And it's a ton to prepare for. Then you got college football in that middle weekend, and I come back to the Open. So for me, it's a blast. IBM just has a new set of power rankings. It's a better way to look at player momentum. It's just got to figure out who's going to win these matches and who's going to win this title. I mean, it's so wide open. There's Djokovic, but there's so many other names on the men's side people are trying to get familiar with. The women's side is just wide open. So Watson uses a lot of. I'm not going to talk to algorithms for like 8-9 minutes here. Don't worry about that. But there's just a lot of data and stuff that goes into it that makes these IBM power rankings interesting because it factors in what a player has done lately. It factors in what people are saying and talking about going into the Open. So it also helps pick fantasy. There's actually tennis fantasy, and that's a growing thing too. So the rankings are something we use to predict the winner of every match and also the chances of doing well in this tournament. So it's another tool we have to get ready for the broadcast that IBM's provided, and they've been involved in tennis for a long time. So it's cool. And it's tough when you look at all this outlook, and, somebody is going to win the last major of the year here. And, it's just a really wild time in tennis. It's a sad time to not have Federer and Nadal, Serena, some of the big names out with injuries, but it's also a huge opportunity for a whole bunch of other players to come through and have the moment of their life.
Well, you as a guy who, you're always well prepared for whatever broadcast, and we have so much more new information these days. Like, is there something go-to that's new age that you do like throwing into your broadcast that you like having as a note to go into? And is there do you try and stay like what you've usually gone through because you don't want to overload yourself with too much because there's so much out there now?
You never want to throw too much stuff at the viewer, right? I mean, you don't want to bury him in stats, especially I think that, like in football, for example, you can get this pile of data. I use Pro Football Focus. I use a lot of the analytics. I have the information there. I think it's great to look at it, but I don't think you want to bury the broadcast in it. And with tennis, I work with guys like Johnny Mack. Johnny Mack just wants to feel it. He just wants to see what's going on the court. He wants to filter things through his lens. All the different analysts have their own mindset. You don't want to come in there and start throwing a bunch of stats at people. I mean, what's cool about sports is that it's unscripted and it's in the mind of the athletes and it's unpredictable. and anything can happen. And so it's a combination of being prepared, having all the data ready. Like I'll know, for example, during the Georgia-Clemson game, every defensive back, how often they've been targeted by opponents, what kinds of routes they've given up, what the success rate is. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to come out and use all that stuff necessarily, but if a dude's getting picked on, for example, you have the data and you figure out how to use it. I tell people who want to get into this, you can't over-prepare, but you can overuse your prep and smother a broadcast with information. So it's sort of, as we get more and more data in tennis and in football, the art is not to, suffocate a broadcast with it, but use it to help viewers out.
So getting back into Alabama and Miami, Chris, we had Kirk Herbstreit on, I think it was like a week and a half ago, and he said that he had some pretty high praise for D'Eriq King, where he said he thought that D'Eriq has the chance to be one of the faces of college football this year. When you look at this matchup against Alabama, do you think that it has to be a Herculean effort from him for the Canes to even have any shot and for me not to be humiliated by Leroy?
It wouldn't hurt, man. I mean, first of all, if you look at the history of playing Alabama, if you don't have a quarterback who's going to play, if not Herculean, he's got to play great, and he's got to limit his mistakes, and he's got to make plays, because Alabama is not going to be out of position and give you easy stuff very often, right? This defense for Alabama is the strength of their team. The focus in recent years has been on offense, on scoring 1 million points, talented skill all over the place. They still have that, but it isn't as proven. And you can't be, an offense as great as Alabama's was last year, lose Mac Jones. We see what he's doing in the NFL. Lose Devontae Smith, Waddle, Harris. You can't lose that kind of offensive personnel and expect to click right away. So to me, it's more of a return to Alabama's personality under Saban. It's going to be a tough defense. They're going to make D'Eriq work for everything. They're going to be very, very focused on keeping him in the pocket, not letting him get out and run around. I will say this. It's been awesome to see him recover from the knee, get back. I love the fact that he came back to play. He's just a really impressive guy that took a lot of crap early in his career at Houston and when he transferred. But every time I've had a chance to converse with him, I got to know him pretty good. I'm so impressed by him. And I think that you should be mature enough to understand that he's not going to be able to go out there and force from the first snap. He's going to have to let things happen. But when you're coming off an ACL, there are easier teams to come back against than Alabama. Those linebackers look pretty ferocious. Saban's teams are ready to go in openers. That's what you have to know. Not that it's a news flash, but if you look back at the history, Bama's teams are ready to go against quality opponents in the opening games, and they generally have their way. And they usually cover, by the way. I hate to tell you that. That's you probably have done your research.
I did not
on that.
No, he didn't.
No,
you did not do the research.
I don't do.
Brendan, you didn't do your research.
No.
They always cover. They always.
I no, Chris. I don't do research when it comes to the Canes. I put on the turnover chain and I walk around with swag and I throw up the U and I say that Leroy is a hater. That's what I always do, and it usually leads to bad things.
For the Miami fans, I hope the chain better come out a few times. I'll just say that, because if Alabama's going to lose, usually the opponent needs a little help.
Chris, here's what I did say. I said that if you look at the teams that have beat Alabama over the years, they all had the same thing in common. That's a quarterback very similar to the skill set that the quarterback from Miami has. And so from that standpoint, if you're going to have a chance, D'Eriq King is going to have to be the best version of him. And that's making plays outside of the pocket. Anytime Alabama's faced a team like that, they sometimes struggle. So there's your chance.
Yeah, they know that too, though. I mean, I think that you're talking about the games that Alabama's lost. Then you got to pick and choose very few games over a long period of time. And Johnny Manziel played an unbelievable game when A&M shocked Alabama. Cam Newton when he was at Auburn. Marshall. Auburn has had some dual threat guys that, you're right, has given them trouble running and throwing and created some confusion and some matchup issues. And then you had the LSU offense that lit them up. That was just Burrow did scramble and make plays, but that was just an overwhelming array of weaponry. around him and a great play caller. So there's been very few examples where Alabama's been exposed. Obviously Trevor Lawrence and Clemson has got him a couple times, but you're right. It takes a very special player and a special performance and a lot of help. Miami's offensive line, to me, looks pretty good. They better hold up. You worry. I mean, listen, this is just one game, and it's not going to define success or failure for the Hurricanes. What they do in the ACC, where I think there are a lot of expectations, and there should be. People should have high hopes. People look at the team after Clemson in the conference. Is it the Canes? Is it Carolina? Miami should come into this year with a ton of motivation. And I think there's a lot of reason to be optimistic about the offense being better, but it's not the whole thing, this game against Alabama. You got to get King healthy out of the game. I hate to say this, but I mean, if you're a fan of this sport, you know the history of these opening games. Miami knocks the blank out of people, and you got to get your quarterback through healthy. I remember the Florida State game a few years ago. Francois goes in. I mean, that was the last really good opponent where I thought it was a decent matchup coming in. So when they played the Noles, was it 4 years ago? And right away, you get a quarterback hurt, it affects the rest of your season. I've seen Michigan play Alabama. They beat the hell out of your squad. Remember when Denard Robinson was a quarterback? And it was very evident, Leroy, that they did not want to get their quarterback hurt against Alabama and then have to play a Big Ten season. And Denard was not interested in running around out there and getting himself ripped apart. That game was in Arlington. And you just got to keep your guys healthy. Do well, give it your best shot, but don't come out of that banged up. That's important.
Check out the U.S. Open app and usopen.org with the new IBM Power Rankings with Watson and Match Insights with Watson. Chris Fowler's on the call there. Thanks for the time this morning, Chris. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, my pleasure, guys. Look forward to getting back down to Miami when it cools down a little bit. That's where I live, as you may know. So I'm definitely have a vested interest in the Canes having a great season because I don't mind doing a few home games at Hard Rock. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
You guys be well.
Enjoy the U.S. Open, Chris. Take care.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
All right, Chris Fowler there. Really enjoyed that. Oh, man.
Yep.
He made me nervous. Yeah. I may have walked into something.
Don't be nervous.
I may have walked into a buzzsaw.
You didn't walk into nothing.
I walked into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
I did the thing that I do.
Your mouth cashed a check that your ass couldn't cash. I'm about to send your ass some NSF charges.
Back after this.
I drink till I'm drunk. Smoke till I'm
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 790 The Ticket. Taking you up until 10 o'clock. Thanks again to Chris Fowler for joining the program. He brought it strong. Did ask me if I did my research. Kind of stopped me in my tracks. Because that's his thing. Like Chris Fowler. Didn't Chris Fowler do research? Wasn't Chris Fowler's didn't he do College Game Day without a teleprompter? That's crazy to do.
Yes.
Like he's that kind of prepped. And so he's like, you did your research, right? No.
He should ask you, did you do any research?
I'm like
not the research.
I'm like the guy who goes and invests his whole savings into Dogecoin. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
That is amazing.
Oh my God.
That his first question to you. He didn't even, at least the other guys lied and said, they got a chance. And I even threw my little information to give him an opportunity to say they have a chance. He goes, nah, they'll stop that.
He's like, not really. Johnny Manziel was a long time ago.
Yeah. Cam Newton.
Long time ago. Damage is done.
Trevor Lawrence, they were just dominant.
Damage is done.
Yeah, he just so now you feel worse, right?
I do now. Currently in this moment, I do, but I know I'll get it back.
Not because Leroy said it, but because Chris Fowler said it.
Once I just need to hear somebody, tweet something. I need Ed Reed to tweet something. Then I'll be back. Or Michael Irvin.
Canes Bro 54 can't be the guy that you read the text from.
I just need one. I need somebody to bring me back. But yeah, Fowler.
That's not Michael Irving.
No, Michael Irvin counts. If Michael Irvin says something,
No,
I'm
he
in.
doesn't.
He counts.
He's the biggest Canes fan in the world.
Remember him versus in the NIT tournament? He was so irrationally happy. Was he weeping at one point?
I don't know.
Because the Canes beat Rutgers? I feel like he was.
I'm telling you. Look, this is not a knock on the Canes. They just ain't there yet. And I don't know why I got to feel like I'm a hater to say that. That's the reality of your situation.
Michael Irvin during the NIT tournament losing his mind.
You look over the NIT.
It was Stanford. It wasn't Rutgers. And then he was heartbroken. He was heartbroken because they lost. They lost an OT. He was going through it. Poor Michael Irvin. But yeah, if he says something, I'm back, dude. I'm back. I just need one cane. I just need one cane to bring me back.
No. You can be back if somebody that's not affiliated with the Canes.
Why? Why do you have to make? Why you got to make separate rules? Why is it?
Because if a Canes player does it, you're in the same boat. That got you dressing up like Tyler Hero.
What about Desmond? Can I get Desmond on?
If Desmond says it, all right.
He's home team, kind of.
He's not gonna say it.
He might say it. You don't know that.
No, he won't.
Somebody has to go against the grain on the desk. Maybe Lee Corso.
Okay.
Now, they're not wearing that. It's not the headgear game, right? Because he just said he's doing Clemson. So is the headgear game, is that – well, I guess they're probably doing – where's that – that game's probably where? In Charlotte, Georgia, Clemson? Or are they both in Atlanta?
No, it's in Atlanta.
They're both in Atlanta?
One in Atlanta and one in –
I know the Canes are in Atlanta.
Oh, the Canes are in Atlanta and isn't it in Texas?
Yes, Texas. So they'll probably be there.
I thought the Canes were in Texas, so that's why.
I can't tell you one.
Because they do the kickoff at Jerry's place, right?
Yeah. The Canes are at Mercedes-Benz, and then they are at they're in Bank of America Stadium. They are in North Carolina.
Okay. So here's what's weird. When you say Mercedes-Benz,
you think Superdome.
And now it's the Caesar Superdome, which sounds stupid.
It makes you mad.
Makes me mad.
Makes you mad. You
know why?
Because
you want to know the backstory behind this? Because all those casinos were built with the FEMA money that was given to fix the levees before Katrina hit.
Oh.
They tried to flip it. They tried to flip the money, so they built all the stuff down, and then they were going to fix the levees with the money they got from that. But Mother Nature don't play.
I thought Caesars was washed. I didn't think people go to Caesars anymore. It's beautiful.
No, remember that used to be the big fight place.
Yeah, that used to be the place, Caesar's Palace.
Live from Caesar's Palace. I remember watching the fight. It was Tyson and Evander Holyfield, where they used to do it outside.
I don't know.
And the guy flew in on that little helicopter thing.
Yeah, no, that was I think that was Holyfield Bo.
Holyfield Bo. And he just came on in.
Fan man.
Yep.
Let's see. The last time. Yeah, he last fought Tyson fought at Caesar's Palace. Actually, he didn't do it for a while. It was back in 1990. He did it once. He kind of made the MGM grandest place.
Okay. Because that's when it first opened?
I guess so. Well, we did that Garden Arena, but now, like, if it's a super, super big fight, they do T-Mobile because they're partnered with them.
Right. And that's when we get kicked to the curb.
That's when they say, take a hike.
That's when we got to watch the fight.
I actually like, you know where I like watching? I like the Mandalay Bay. I liked watching a fight there. That was cool. It was very intimate.
I was a little uncomfortable when we watched it in the
David Copperfield.
Yeah, because just the way the seating is, you gotta like you're going to a movie.
That was the weirdest.
Excuse me.
That was the
no. I'm saying that's what we had to say going back and forth.
It was the weirdest radio row. It was very uncomfortable.
Right.
Plus, this being put in the middle of a press conference. That was odd too.
Oh yeah.
Just do your thing.
Although
I'll never forget that line. The lady just goes, "Just do your thing." I'm like, "Do you know what our thing is?"
Right. Or I'm having a conversation with Oscar De La Hoya, and Tobin's just like, "Hey man, give him a mic." Then we got Oscar.
All right. The conclusion. That's a win.
Oh, really? We still doing that? I thought we were done.
We got 10 more games.
All right.
We're through 71, baby.
All right.
I guess that's 11 games. Big stretch. Don't you want to know what the record's going to be? You gotta be a little curious what my final record's going to be.
No.
I currently have the Heat standing at 50-21 through 71 games.
I got you.
Will they reach 60? Find out next. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 790 The Ticket. You missed any of today's show, download the Odyssey app, AUDACY. You can use the Odyssey app rewind feature. And check out Chris Fowler. He joined us at the start of this hour. We heard from dismissive Brian Flores today. I very much enjoyed that. And Sam Egwavon. We finally got a conclusion to that case as well. So plenty to get to on today's program. You could also get the Tobin and Leroy podcast for you to download. Check it on out. But I know there is a grand conclusion that Leroy Horde himself has been waiting for all week for two reasons. One, he wants to know what I think the Heat's record's going to be. And for two, I think he hates me and is ready for this to be over. I didn't know if you were throwing up a number 2 for choice number 2 or because I was talking double. That's normally our double sign.
Choice number 2. And
yeah, there was no double.
What's that? I wasn't double?
And this is duty.
Oh. All right.
There, I'm not double.
Right now, I have the...
Hold up.
Oh. Right now, I have the Heat in the midst of a 4-game win streak. Next up, Monday, March 21st, at Philadelphia. Listen, Philadelphia, they only get us on back-to-backs or some fugazi terms. They're a gutless team. They're going to be even more gutless once they have Ben Simmons pouting. Ooh, nobody traded for me. Yeah, because you stink. That's a win for the Miami Heat. Spirit Leroy?
Did you say Philadelphia?
Yes.
I have that one as a loss.
All right. Fair enough. Bruno Marcos?
Wow, that works out well. I have that as a loss as well, just because we're on coast mode. You know, we've wrapped up a top seed and we're on coast mode.
We haven't quite wrapped up the top seed yet.
Close to a top seed.
But we are in the midst of a 5-game win streak, which is great. That brings us to...
Did you miss Oklahoma City?
I call him Thicky Bruno.
No, we did count that at the end, J-Fig. I called that the don't lose stretch. Because we ended with 71 because we had to balance out. We had 2 extras. So like a little appendage, I added 1 extra game there at the end. But did you have Oklahoma City as a win? I imagine so.
I actually did, yeah.
Anyway, next up, hosting the Golden State Warriors. We like to call these shooters not as good as Duncan Robinson game. And the last bet that I won against Leroy, I believe, was Duncan Robinson versus Steph Curry. I got the over-under and the spread on the 3-pointers, and it won me a case of Celsius, which was delightful from Dunks. Now he's a rich man, walks around with a little bit more swagger. And by the way, I was listening to his podcast. He doesn't seem to like the fact that he's behind Klay Thompson and Steph Curry in the shooting 2K pantheon. So I got that as a win. Big game from Dunks against the Warriors. What say you, Leroy Horde? Spirit Leroy?
Leroy definitely has that one as a win.
Excellent. Marcos?
I got that as a win.
Next up, as the Heat right now have won 6 in a row, is the New York Knicks at home. And you know my term on this. Screw the Knicks. And I can't wait to have all those Bobos from the Bronx come in here. We are the Mecca, bro. This is our house. No, it's not. All right? Enjoy Julius Randle and Taj Gibson. Do they still have Taj Gibson? Is Taj Gibson still on the team?
I thought Kelly Olynyk was in Houston, so I should probably pass on this question. I'm not really sure.
He still is on the New York Knicks, which means we will get Nick Friedel down here for this game because he gets to cover his 2 favorite people, Jimmy Butler and Taj Gibson. But it's a win. It's a win for the Miami Heat. Spirit Leroy?
I also have that one as a W.
Fantastic. Marcos?
Never in my life will I vote for the Knicks to beat the Heat. It's a garbage franchise.
Well, as Marcos did say, next up we have on a back-to-back a home game with the Brooklyn Nets, all right? So they're coming into town. Now, they're scrapping at this point because the Heat, they got a lead on them. So they need this game a lot more than Miami does right now, Leroy, in the midst of a 7-game win streak. So I got the Nets winning that game. A much necessary win for them, especially for that, that James Harden, that anchor that they have on that team. Glad we didn't trade for him. Woo! So glad. So glad. J-Fig, Heat, Nets.
I also have the Heat as a loss that day.
All right. Marcos?
Yeah, man, I got the Nets scrapping for 8th place. They need this.
They do. That seems strong.
8th place.
8th place. They got Dinwiddie back?
They wish they had Dinwiddie back.
All right, next up, it is a Monday night against the Kings. We call that Fat and Sassy Slump Buster, bouncing on back into the win column for the Miami Heat. Any disagreements here from the two in the crew? All right,
nope.
Everybody agreement in there. Then the Heat go to Boston March 30th. That's an ESPN game, which means the N in ESPN stands for National TV Ass Kicking that the Heat are going to drop on the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum. He gets to say, Daddy loves you guys, because Bam's coming to town. Oh, that block is forever, my friend. Forever.
I actually have that one as not a true loss.
Oh, really? Why not a true loss?
Not a true loss.
I'd love to hear your reasoning on this.
I don't know. Just a feeling I have.
I like it.
Solid.
I like it.
That's all I need.
That's all I need, too.
Research.
Then they go to Chicago.
I did my research.
They go to Chicago. Sometimes a tough place to play. Bulls probably fighting for a playoff spot. So scrappy. Heat are kind of in coast mode at this point. So now, after the long win streak, you beat Boston. A little bit of a letdown. I got that as a loss. What about you, Spirit Leroy?
For Chicago, I have it as a win.
All right. And Marcos?
You know how I feel about Vucevic.
You're scared of him.
Yeah, this is going to be that weird team that does better than us in the regular season but cannot win a game in the playoffs. I got Chicago winning that one, unfortunately.
Next up, the Heat have to travel to Toronto on a back-to-back. I got this as a loss, but almost as a pity loss from Kyle Lowry. He feels bad for Canada. So he says, you guys can have one. You guys can have one. Don't you agree, Leroy Horde?
He agrees.
Spirit Leroy, you agree?
I agree.
Marcos?
I agree.
All right. Next up, 3 games left on the season. Tuesday, April 5th, hosting the Charlotte Hornets. I got that as a win. No explanation needed from me. Come on, bro. It's the Hornets. Next up.
You did your research.
Yeah, I did my research. It's Chris Fallon. Did you do your research? Yeah, I did my research, Chris Fallon. It's Heat I was so stopped cold in my tracks by that.
That better be a cut.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that one.
You did your research, right? No!
No.
No!
That might be the funniest line. Clearly, he does
Do you
not
think
know
Chris
you.
Fowler hates that's a win, that's a loss?
Yes.
Interesting. Next time we have him on, I'm going to ask. Friday, April 8th, hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Now, Hawks have gotten us a few times this year. I call this game had to learn them something. So I got that as a win for the Miami Heat. You learn them something, Leroy. Just when they're feeling a little bit too cocky, that Trae Young, you learn them something. So that's a win for the Miami Heat. J Fig, a.k.a. Spirit Leroy.
Spirit Leroy said that one was a loss.
All right. Well, listen, Hawks tough matchup for the Heat. And Marcos?
I got this as the Gabe Vincent game.
Oh.
That's a dub.
I like that. And then finally, the season wraps up in Orlando. I got that as a loss. We're sitting everyone. All right? Get ready, Big Yurt.
Yeah, Orlando's fighting for the 19th place there.
Yeah.
But they're fighting hard, and I got that as a loss.
So my final conclusion, my record is 57-25 for your Miami Heat. That is a
respectable.
That is a .695 winning percentage, which, would put them at last year would have had them as the 1 seed in the East. In the West, it would have had them as a 3 seed. I find this respectable. I don't feel like this is a homer reach at all.
Not even 60 games.
No, not 60 games. I'm not going to be ridiculous. I didn't say 60 games.
That's mature. You're mature.
I'm mature. How much did
you say you had?
I had 57 wins.
Oh, okay.
How many wins do you have?
I believe I have 53.
50, it's completely respectable.
Also mature.
Completely respectable.
Pretty mature.
Marcos?
I got 55.
55. Leroy, this is the most responsible that's a win, that's a loss we've ever played. You got to give me some credit.
We're growing up, Leroy.
Come on, Leroy. The game's over. You can review it. No. Nope.
Are you with your spirit?
In spirit.
That's a win. That's a loss. Everybody enjoy the action this weekend. Have a safe, fun weekend here. And we will talk to you all on Monday.
Grow up, Dennis.
Time to move on, Dennis.
Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union.
Hey, it's Rob Lucas. Whether it's a car, truck, or SUV, if you're getting ready to put on a new set of plates, get low rates from Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union. Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union has rates as low as 1.99% on auto loans.
Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union.
Restrictions apply. Visit the branch or contact loans at greaterniagarafcu.com for more information. May not be combined with other offers or discounts. Insured by NCUA.
At AAA, we understand that a girls' or guys' weekend starts long before you take off. If the next big game, golf outing, or unique outdoor adventure is taking you to points unknown, start planning with AAA to get all the insider knowledge on how to take your getaway to the next level. Planning a trip with AAA Travel gets you thinking out of the box on where your next adventure will take you. Rely on AAA's knowledgeable and experienced travel advisors to make your trip unforgettable. AAA Travel. We're with you before, during, and after your trip.
Paid actors represent actual clients.
When I needed an experienced lawyer, I called the Barnes firm.
I didn't know how much my case was worth. The Barnes firm got me the best result possible.
After my car crash, I called the Barnes firm. Best call I could have made.
I'm Rich Barnes. How much is your case worth? You might be surprised. Call our Buffalo office now. It might be the best call you could make.
The Barnes firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-million.
Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. 451 Grider, 500 Pearl.